Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm gonna do a quick video review requested by one of you guys in the comments by a channel called Insider Japan Unveiled. The link is gonna be below. But I've seen one or two of his videos. He does this weird kind of AI voice activated stuff with like sunglasses and a fake beard because he doesn't want to show his face. He's like some otaku trader guy. I don't really know. Let's see what he's saying about Japanese relationships. I'm not quite sure he knows exactly what he's talking about, but I'll give my take on it as always.
In a previous video, I listed 5 traits of Japanese women that foreigners admire. However, these traits are mostly superficial. While you might have enjoyable moments with them in casual relationships, it's a different story after marriage.
Okay, first off, he threw a lot at us in the beginning. I think it's because this is a follow-up to another video that he did. I might have seen the other one, but I kind of breezed through it. So let me just go through the 5 things he said really quickly. He said Japanese women are considerate, gentle and calm, meticulous, clean, and high aesthetics. So let me go through these for you guys really quickly. He said they're considerate. I actually, in the video, he said that's just only things that they do at first and not when they're married. I disagree. It really depends on like how you gauge consideration. If it's someone who really takes into account like what goes on in the house, you yourself, your atmosphere, picking up on subtle cues that to your everyday life needs and wants, I think that doesn't change with marriage. That's just been my experience. But again, I think that also is more of a factor of who you are actually marrying and the person that you're dealing with and vetting that person before you get married versus like someone who just is maybe a guidance hunter that, you didn't really realize what you were getting into. Gentle and calm. Number two, I do think, well, I think with any woman, like, her dating versus after you lock her down and get married is going to change to some degree. I think it might be a bit jarring because Japanese women are a lot more accommodative in the dating stage than in the marriage stage. So I guess that is kind of true to some degree, but it just depends on like how much you're willing to deal with and how much experience you have with women and able to manage that and establish yourself as the man in the relationship. I'm not saying you gotta be like, all crazy or anything like that, but I am a believer that dominance, not dominance is a bad word. I'm a believer that, being the man in the bedroom gives you leeway outside of the bedroom. So your skills help you in other areas, if you know what I'm saying. Meticulous really depends on the girl. I think that really depends on the girl. I wouldn't summarize all Japanese women as meticulous. Now, at work, I'd say compared to Western people, I would say so, yes. But there are a lot of scattered brain kind of, dodo heads around here as well. They're all over the world. So I'd say that's just more of a stereotype. Clean and have good aesthetics, I say yes. Even like people who are kind of weird, crazy, and dirty are less weird, crazy, and dirty in Japan than I have seen in my home country. So the minimum bar of cleanliness and stuff like that is, I think, higher here. Mysterious in appearance, I think that's just if you're not used to dealing with Japanese women, or you have that kind of geisha fantasy, that Asian delight that you that you're looking for in your head. I think that's also has something to do with it. If you see Japanese women just as women, then from another culture or another country, then it's not as mystifying, if you will.
While you might have enjoyable moments with them in casual relationships, it's a different story after marriage. You'll realize their personalities change drastically like mutants. In this video, I will briefly discuss the reasons for these changes before and after marriage and the characteristics of women who are prone to change as an insider.
I don't believe this guy's an insider at all. I, I don't see him getting inside anything just from the poster that he has and the Rubik's Cube on his desk. That's just, I'm not knocking the guy, but I don't really classify him as an insider. But let's see what he's got to say. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It might be the like mustache and and fake nose that's throwing me off. I don't know. I don't get it.
Reasons 1. Wearing a mask. Women who desperately want to get married often wear a mask until the marriage is finalized. Once they are married, they no longer need to pretend because divorce is not easy under Japanese law. Marriage itself is often their ultimate goal, a belief they hold firm, shaping most of their lives. They no longer need to work outside the home after marriage and don't have to navigate social interactions as cautiously. Due to the long-standing culture of male dominance and female subordination, women have been taught to take a step back. This has led to a line of reasoning that goes, working outside the home is the husband's responsibility, and we women are not accountable for it. This trend is especially noticeable in recent marriages, facilitated through dating apps, where financial stability takes precedence, and wives might even disregard their husband's opinion.
I feel like this is just some AI generated content from this guy. I don't really know if he's actually, he might not even be in Japan, to be honest with you. He might just be a weeb, like making content. I don't know, because we don't really see anything about his life beyond his computer screen, right? And we don't know his face. He's not really talking. This could all just be AI generated stuff. Some of the points that were made, like I said, could be the result of Chat GPT or stuff that he's seen on other YouTube videos. Like, it's kind of like a little bit too all or nothing for me. Like, yes, some women do. Marriage is the ultimate goal for, I'd say, almost all Japanese women. Yes, however, double income is kind of becoming the norm here. So the traditional, I'm going to get married and be a housewife, kick my feet up and eat potato chips all day, that's kind of gone out the window, especially for anyone under 40. Like, I'd say that's not something that's a realistic image for most women, unless they're just like, a gold digger and looking for some type of baller. The average Japanese woman does expect to probably work and probably wants to continue working to have some kind of autonomy in her life. Any woman after they get married, they are going to be a lot more assertive, just because they locked everything down. I don't think divorce, I'd say divorce is easier in Japan than it is in the West, just because it's more of a paper kind of thing. And once the paper is signed, that's it. You don't need lawyers. You don't need any of that stuff, really. So I call BS on that. Like, I would say, like, some people, you can just slide her a piece of paper, or she can slide you a piece of paper, stamp it, and y'all are divorced. And it's really like a simple thing like that. So I don't think that he's an expert in that arena at all. I call BS, Chat GPT BS on that one.
2. Discontent with husband's individuality. When attitudes change significantly after the initial phase of marriage, it indicates significant dissatisfaction with the husband. Pre-marriage, they were attentive to others' opinions, a typical trait in Japan. But after marriage, they might start seeing their husband as one of their kind and expect him to align completely with their thoughts. Any deviation from this leads them to perceive the husband as an outsider again, causing stress.
What I would say is, in order to find a suitable partner who meets a lot of the conditions that they want for, a stable future, kids and things like that, they're willing to accommodate him before marriage and not complain. After marriage, once he's already locked in those types of situations, they can, he's not really, catering to his needs is not really part of the game, right? Like, they've already passed that level, so they're able to, more strongly assert themselves. But if you're in dating someone that actually likes you for you, interested for you, and you're continuing to invest in that relationship, then I don't think that's an issue at all. I think, or you're taking care of yourself, taking care of her, things like that, trying to work together to maintain communication in the relationship, that won't be an issue. I think I've heard, like, Japanese women say, kind of Japanese guys, the typical salaryman business guy is quite naive. If you think about their life history, life trajectory, especially the average, so about average, not all, right? Average Japanese guy is raised to put his head in the books, study as much as he can, go to a good school, get a good paying job, so that he can provide a stable future for his wife and future kids. There's not really that much time for dating and stuff like that. And in many cases, up until recently, the person that he actually married will probably be someone from his company, or someone he met in university, or someone he was introduced to in their circle of friends. He's not hitting the club, he's not hitting the bar, so he doesn't really know how to, like, mingle and finagle, with girls or women and stuff like that. So, him meeting a girl who listens to him, caters to him, does everything that he says, they end up falling for him pretty damn easily, right? And those are the women who are more calculating, who are going after guys who tick all the boxes that they want. That's when after they get married, they deal with all that drama and stuff like that. If you've been dating around and you kind of understand different types of women, I don't think that will be as much of an issue for you, or you'll be able to handle it a lot better just because you have more experience with women. But the average guy is probably not doesn't their body count isn't really that high, unless they're paying for it, or because they've just spent their whole life in books, and then once they enter the company, that's the focus of their life as well. That's why kind of the excesses or drama that gets dealt with in the home, they get kind of pushed to the outside because the only thing they know how to do is just like work, go home, and drink with their coworkers.
Feeling secure after marriage. Feeling secure in marriage allows them to reveal their true selves. While this might seem positive, the gap between the before and after changes is too substantial. Skilled women can act and change their personas effortlessly. Thus, after marriage, they become entirely different individuals, making you wonder who you married in the first place.
I mean, this is an extreme view of this, but I mean, of course, that is everyone changes, after marriage. Like so you just not on the hunt. It's like going from a lion on in the Serengeti hunting for gazelle to being in the zoo getting fed 3 meals a day. Naturally, like you change. That's just part of life. That's me being an older guy. My expectations of marriage when I was younger were quite different than me in my 40s, and what I'm willing to accept has changed, and also what I'm willing to do has changed. So I think that's just a part of life, and it's easier to be critical of those things when you're younger. But when you start building a life with someone, your pride, what is important to you, really does change a lot. Like I'm much happier with my wife and my family. It's my life is quite imperfect at the moment, but I would not trade that to go back in time and chase poontang every Friday night. Like no, like I'm so much happier watching Naruto with my son and taking my daughter to daycare.
What are the characteristics of such women? 1. Proficient liars. They excel at wearing masks, and when the need for it disappears, their attitude changes drastically. Most Japanese women have faced significant societal pressure during their formative years until they enter society, compelling them to constantly fake their personas. Consequently, they become adept at lying.
I think that's a certain type of Japanese women, right? Those are more the calculating ones, is what they're talking about, and those are the ones you can't see. If you have any type of personality about you, you can see them coming a mile away, right? Because like me and those type of Japanese women don't really mix in social circles, just because like they're lame. Basically, they're lame. They're boring, and like they don't. You can tell they have nothing to offer but a few kind of social cues that they picked up to try to make people like them. If you can see past those things, you can see that they have really nothing to offer and they're not really interesting at all.
Excessive concern for others' evaluation. They are excessively concerned about others' opinions, even after marriage. If their husband's reputation deviates slightly from societal norms, they openly express their emotions and anger.
I do kind of understand about societal pressures. That is really a big thing. Especially if you're not like you shine both ways, especially being a foreign guy. We're all talking to foreign guys here. Like, you're going to shine either way. So if you hit those benchmarks of success, it's going to be more of a plus. If you don't, over time, it's going to be more of a drag. So it's something, I deal with having a non-traditional career path, talking, communicating, understanding my family situation, knowing where we're going, the plot in the future that we're in and stuff like that. I have to communicate a lot of things, a lot of the moves that I've made. Don't really talk about it on here, to set up things in the future. Or, if you have a direction and a plan, and the right woman would be willing to work with you, but you do have to show and prove those type of results. The average Japanese women, like the way I say, people in Japan don't really care about your dreams. That's something I had to learn as well. You got to kind of, the proof is going to be in the pudding at some point. I've kind of put some pudding down, so I have more leeway with my family, but also I'm a hard-working, dedicated person. I'm very serious. I work 5-6 days a week. My family knows that. So I'm going to wrap this up too, because my son's on his way home. Please leave likes and comments. Let me know what you think about this. And I will holler at you soon. Peace. Here's another video for you. Later.